Welcome to the Church of Thomas. These are excerpts from Awakenings in an Age of Angels. This chapter is called Joseph Sick. When Jesus was 16, Joseph got sick. All he could manage to do was lie in bed and cough. He also ran a fever on and off. Jesus took up the slack in the shop. Every day Jesus would go to sit at Joseph's bed. He filled in Joseph about the customers and the work. He asked for advice about finishes and special orders. This helped Joseph continue to feel involved and integral to the business he had built from his own sweat and blood. As he talked to Joseph, he steadied the spoon of broth that got to Joseph's mouth between the coughing fits. Joseph's hands were once steady as a rock and flexible as a fresh willow. They were now shaky and gnarled as old oak roots. Joseph did not like Mary to feed him because he did not want her to see his loss of strength. She sat singing to him between chores. She told him that being tired, sitting with him was just a great excuse to sit and let the boys learn what sweeping was all about. Joseph was well loved by his family. Jesus was sad for Joseph's suffering. He asked if it would be okay to be healed. His father's answer was no. Joseph's appointed time was nearing. He would soon be home where he could rest from his suffering. Jesus often cried because Joseph had always been fair with him. Though Joseph never understood Jesus, he did have a fatherly pride in Jesus. As the eldest, Joseph blessed Jesus to succeed him. Jesus' heart was torn. He did not know what to do. He already knew that he could not stay. He was destined to not marry or settle down with a family. The world was his family. He would die in the service of the one with no name. He was trained as a carpenter to shape living wood, but he knew it was the hearts of people that he was destined to shape. And at the end of a short life, he knew that he would teach a new way to look at the world and living life. Jesus also was aware that it would hurt Joseph if he rejected this final gift of love. He was a dutiful son and would honor Joseph's memory by staying a while. When Joseph finished the blessing, he handed Jesus a sack of coins from under the bed. Most were copper, but there were a few silvers. All bore the likeness and markings of Caesar. The doctor would get one of the silvers as payment for the long death Joseph was enduring. The sack of coins seemed such a small hedge against the shop's obligations, but said nothing that would embarrass Joseph. Later, Jesus discovered that many customers had excuses or real hardship that made the payments short. Joseph had been kind-hearted and extended credit with no interest. Joseph had, on occasion, refused money for broken chains or bowls or two when it was a widow's purse that would have been impoverished. This charity had added up over the years. This and getting a late start building the business had taken its toll. The flight to Egypt and later return had really delayed the successful setup of the shop. They had never gone hungry, but they were never well off either, except spiritually, of course. Jesus eased Joseph's burdening at the end, when it started to sound like a child's rattle toy. Only Jesus was in attendance when the Holy Spirit came to be Joseph's escort. Joseph had a good life. Joseph was an honorable, charitable man who did his duty gladly for his God and his family.